So success procuring the fabric. This is that Joann's linen look, which is now 15%, 15% linen, and the rest is viscose, kind of rayon, tinsely, pulp-based fiber, which is not the most environmentally conscious because of the chemicals used to treat the pulp. But with that, if I am going for a blend, I prefer a plant-based fiber over polyester in my blends. So first thing I do is I kind of measure it out, make sure I have all 6 yards. I'm 5'9", usually a size 10, and so I find that 6 yards works really well for me. That's 6 yards. I guess I got 8 yards. All right, so 8 yards of fabric. We'll have plenty to play with there. I might change up how I line this for sure. Maybe I'll do a full bodice lining on that. Anyway, next steps is to serge the edge. I already did one edge, serged. I'll go ahead and do the other one real quick. It looks like there aren't any flaws or mars or fabric or imperfections in the fabric that I'll have to work around, so that's pretty handy. I am going to serge the other edge, just because you never know how much this is going to unravel in the washing machine when we wash it. So, on to serging. So for my serger, this is how I was taught. I don't know if this really truly holds true, but I use 3 cones of serger thread, and then on the final straight stitch I use a real just kind of standard sewing, all-purpose sewing thread. This is polyester to produce less floof. And then it's a little bit stronger. The all-purpose is stronger than the serger threads, and so while these are great for the looping or the casting that holds, keeps your fabric from unfraying, using a real thread apparently is better, so I've been told. I don't know if it's just a sewer tale or not, but that's what I do. And although I tend to only use my serger to bind my edges to keep them from unraveling, so if you do not have access to a serger, a zigzag stitch is going to work just as well for that. And let's see if I can do this left-handed. So, and so, quick tip when you're loading your fabric into your washing machine, don't just spin it around the agitator in a loop like this, because that'll just bind up your agitator and it'll be very detrimental to both your fabric and your washing machine. And so you'll do it in kind of like a crescent, wrap one direction and then wrap the other direction, making sure to kind of get it as a balanced load as well, so you don't get the thunka thunka thunka. And continue on, just wrapping one way, then folding it back the other way until you're done. With dark fabric like this, I like to wash it on cool, and then I go ahead and use a little bit of detergent, and I'll toss in some vinegar just to kind of help set the fabric a little bit more, just in case. And so we'll see what happens and how it comes out at the end. So once it's out of the washing machine, it'll still be tangled up upon itself, and so you'll want to give it a few good shakes to kind of get the tangles out, and then toss it in the dryer. I usually dry everything on medium, because if it's going to shrink, I want it to shrink now before I actually sew it and fit it to myself. If it's a high percentage linen, I'll dry it to just damp dry, and then I will use an iron to finish drying it, and what that does is it prevents any deep wrinkles from getting set within the drying machine itself, and you're going to have to be ironing it anyway, so you might as well make your life easier by ironing it when it's damp. And then this, though, has such a low percentage linen, I went ahead and just dried it all the way on medium, and this is the end result. It has a really nice flow to it, which is not surprising since it has that high viscous feel to it. It still looks a little bit like linen, close enough for what we're doing here. It's thin enough, though, that I think I'm going to need to do a full body lining on this. So let's get cutting.